Well, gentlemen, thank you so much for joining me. Thanks for being a part of the Champ program. If you mind starting, just a brief introduction, yourself and your role at the company.
Yeah, so I'm Zach Piercey. I'm Vice President of Sales at Poynter Sheet Metal. Kind of my background, though, on the entire time I've been there, I've kind of been in the background doing technology stuff and helping integrate and rolling things out. Develop some stuff internally that we use. So that kind of is why the sales guy is involved with the Rivet side. But I see a lot of things and try to make it useful to the end user. That's really what I work on. So.
And you were a project manager and you ran jobs.
Yep. Started project management, worked through that, developed a department, project controls, built that team up, and then shifted over to the sales side.
I'm Kyle Wilson. I've been with Poynter for 15 years. Started in the trades as a pre-apprentice, worked my way up through. I'm general field superintendent now, so I'm in charge of all field labor for the company throughout the country. I'm the primary user as far as moves with the software, and excited to see what all else we can do with it as far as how much more I can utilize it and keep track of everything that we do. So
yeah,
I'm managing over 850 people currently with the software. So.
Okay, I was going to ask about the company. So 850 field, you said?
Correct, yeah.
And where do you guys operate?
We're in 5 states right now. So,
okay.
Throughout most of the Midwest, North Carolina. So.
Yeah, majority of our work's Indiana, Kentucky, and then Western Ohio.
Western Ohio. I've heard of some local shops here that do source at least prefab from you guys.
Yeah, we've got a couple different customers up here in Michigan. D. Kramer is one of our peer partners, so they're a great source. VentCon here locally, we've teamed up with them and worked on a couple projects with them. So definitely familiar with the Michigan area.
Really, this is my favorite event. I wasn't, I'm not full of it when I said it over there in the kind of like the opening remarks. Just getting to spend time with the folks that we built the business for, the folks that we're trying to serve. It's don't get to do this all the time, and definitely don't get to give the rest of the team exposure.
It's awesome to see how others are using it too. I already got with the dev team about, hey, they're reporting actual hours per week. How do I turn that on?
Yeah,
we already got the ball rolling on that side, so it's good seeing how others use it.
Yeah, amazing. What's the biggest takeaway so far? I mean, it's just been a half day, but what's the biggest takeaway from the workshop so far?
Yeah, I think. For me, you can add on. I mean, we always knew it kind of shine some light on. We need to focus on scheduling, and it's the hardest thing to do. It's kind of, if it was easy, everyone else would do it. But we definitely have a good solid base. I looked at it about a year ago is when we really started implementing it, and honestly, it's crazy to see how different Kyle is with the resource. Right before it was text messages everywhere, and he can probably relay a lot more than that, but when we first saw Rivet, that was my immediate thought was, holy cow, this is going to move so much work off of Kyle. Of shift it over a little bit and make things more efficient is really the big thing. So we're definitely in the dispatching phase, looking to that scheduling phase, but we're also seeing on the back end as far as projections. So we can see that forecast. A year ago, I don't think we'd be comfortable saying a month from now, how many guys do we need?
Right.
But I think we could probably get that within 50 guys 6 months from now. So
yeah, it's really turned into a long-term tool for me, labor planning. Like we mentioned earlier, it was a gut feel. I have too many people in the field. I need to start looking at layoffs. And I just kind of based it off of what I thought was coming in the next couple of weeks. Now we're looking at summer projects. Here we are in, beginning of May, and we're talking about our wind down in August and what that looks like. So the ability to start forecasting out further like that, I thought the first half of the day it was really cool to see where we're at in the implementation process. There's times I felt like we were a little behind the curve, but seeing other contractors, I feel like we're kind of right on pace maybe with where we should be with this. It's a huge undertaking to get this through the company and firing on all cylinders. So I think my biggest takeaway so far has been that we're probably right on track where we should be. We have high expectations for ourselves, and I think it's going really well. So it's kind of reassuring to see the struggles others have had with it and how they've handled the same issues we've been faced with.
Yeah, it's because it's all people, right? People and process, and those are not easy things to change and get the results that you want. Some of it just takes time, and we've seen a lot of different phased rollouts, right, where it's just schedule first, and not even dispatch. and then it's schedule and dispatch, and then it start to get projections in, and then maybe that's by region, right, or state,
Right. Yeah.
as opposed to like the whole company at once. Just because you'll learn something, right, and you can use that and apply that to the next cohort or next group, right, or division that you're going to try this at. Zach mentioned like time savings, right? Like initially, just you're thinking with text, right? Like, are you seeing a lot less? Is it easier to do the scheduling and dispatch work than before?
So before, my process was a bit archaic that way. I would send multiple text messages to move one person. And we got the point across. The foreman saw all the information, the maps, the start times, things like that were all shared through text. But just seeing that I can do that on a computer now, more information goes out to more people with less clicks. It took some getting used to on my end, but it's an extremely efficient way of moving them now, and just honing in that process and making sure we're getting all the information out the same way repeatedly. And we have multiple people using the software now, where previously I was sending a lot of the messages, and I've got a guy in the field that helps, Jim, and we'd have to really coordinate that. Now we can kind of see what moves have been made and do it through the same process. It all comes through the same way to the field. So it's been a big help in communicating what we need to in an effective way.
Yep.
It was kind of cool to see a lot of, because I'm on the outside, right? I'm not in it daily. To see a lot of the tangent tasks get complete. OSHA logs, like who's got their 10-hour, right? That now that lives with that individual card. Our safety guys using it more now, Sean. Down to when we did our implementation, we realized we'd never updated that emergency contact info. It was just one little thing that we thought of that, hey, if we're going to roll this out, let's do it the right way. So now a foreman gets a new employee and it's new to Poynter. They also get what all their certifications are, who to contact if something does happen, all those little things that you don't think about that really brings it all together. Because if something does go wrong, the old school way, hey, Joe Blow, we need to call their contact, and all right, now we got to call accounting to get in the ERP system to see what they filled out on their new hire packet that in some cases was 30 years old, and some of those people aren't affiliated with each other anymore. So
I think one of the biggest time-saving things that I didn't foresee being a thing is just that the information that I used to have to reach out to other departments for. I didn't have direct access to email addresses, phone numbers, information that we need for badging and project info. Just the time that I can do it on my own without having to reach out. It's all on the baseball card, and we keep it current through our updates. That's huge, just having that information at my fingertips and being able to do all that at my own free will, rather than relying on multiple email transactions to get the same information, and just the downtime in there. Just that part of it, I didn't ever consider how much time that would save, but that's been a huge part in the way we grow and keeping that volume of people organized. So.
Yeah, actually, one of the things when we were just getting started is none of these HR systems or ERP systems that have all the personnel information, it's not meant for the field or the operations team, right? Like it's not. And so it's not in the hands of the people that need to make decisions about like which people need to be on which projects and if they can be there and if the stuff's up to date. And so it sounds like it's working, that it's in your hands, right? And you have access to it, and you don't have to like make the phone calls and send the emails.
It's cut down drastically on phone calls and text messages. It was huge. That was I felt like if my phone went down, we still had the ability to move people, but the communication is so much more transparent now between myself and the foreman and the project managers. They get to see who's coming and going to the projects, where before they had no idea. I had a spreadsheet that I kept private, and that's how we kept track of who was where. It was up to me after I made multiple text messages and phone calls. Then I had to go back through and highlight the spreadsheet and keep everybody in the right spot. And it was nowhere near as accurate as what we're doing now as far as labor tracking. So,
and Zach, so on the BD side, but having run jobs yourself, are you using this? Are you using Rivet at all in business development? Is it helping you win work or turn down work or evaluate work?
Yeah, so turning down work is not in our culture at all. So it's never going to give us a go, no-go kind of decision. We're going to go for everything. what it does is it's kind of twofold. It allows us to overlay, those upcoming projects that we know are going to happen. Maybe we don't have a contract yet and some things are getting worked out, but I can give Kyle a heads up, hey, here's this job and it's got, X amount of field hours on it, and here's about the rough schedule it's going to overlay on there. And then the other, I'll use it to create manpower curves to send to customers, right? When I'm turning my proposal in, it makes it very easy to say, here's what a manpower curve looks like. Here's where our peak would be based on your schedule, down to using the employee map to show, because that's a big thing in our area is, just workforce availability. We're pretty tight there, but I can, pinpoint where that job's going to be, draw a 30-mile radius and say, we have X amount of employees within this 30-mile radius, and it helps us kind of, outshine others. We're upfront about it and say, hey, here's our available staff, and here's when they would be there. So it's a huge asset on that front.
Got it. Yeah, so you're able to like show that you have capacity for work.
Correct.
Right, in time and in space.
Yep.
Basically.
Yeah, and there's been some where I've overlaid, this is your project, and this is what it would do to affect our company. Because sometimes it's, hey, how are you guys going to be able to take this job on? And when you overlay it and you kind of show, okay, this job would make up 3% of our company, it's a little bit easier to swallow than just saying, hey, yeah, we can do it. We can actually show our capacity and what that would do. Build it in a little bit.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, if it's 3% as opposed to it's 30% of the company.
Exactly.
Am I really going to be able to accomplish all of that?
Yeah.
We've been able to use those labor curves, like Zach was saying, as a proposal on the front end. We've used those labor curves on a couple jobs now to show schedule compression and what that does to the number of people on there to help execute change orders as well. So just showing if things went according to plan, which we know it's construction, it's not always going to go that way. But when you cut 2 or 3 months off our schedule and the end date doesn't move, this is the increased labor that we're seeing or the increased hours that we're seeing. And to be able to map that out instead of just like Zach said, just saying, hey, we have more people, we can show live data and what it's doing to the job, and that really, I think, helps seal the deal on some of those.
Yeah, I mean, compression. There's probably more schedule compression than there's ever been on more jobs, and it means more supervision, right? More material for you guys, getting more prefab done, right? To get on site, and more overtime. All that stuff costs money, right?
Exactly.
And it's invaluable to be able to have a way to like see those things before it hits you, so you can try to like have a conversation and do something about it. What do you think the biggest benefit to the company has been, since you guys have started working with us?
On the field side, the ability to execute project, like setting up project teams and being able to scale what I was doing locally. I started out doing it in 3 states, and now we're doing it in 5 states with considerably more people on staff. But being able to take the same process and duplicate it over and over to manage labor and keep everything organized. There's only so many ways you can send a text message and keep it, where you can see it. I think the transparency throughout the company, I can see who's in North Carolina on which projects. We can track what locals they're from, just the amount of information in there. It's insane to see how much more we have than we had with the spreadsheet, and it kind of makes me wonder how I ever did it with my spreadsheet back then. I thought I could never touch this volume with what we were doing then and keep it accurate. So.
Yeah, it's pretty neat to see our overall manpower chart. Kyle brought it up today, and it's like, wow, it's cool that he's looking at something that I'm looking at. We see a little bit of a drop in January of the overall manpower staff coming down. That tells me, hey, I can start getting a little more aggressive on those projects to help fill that backlog. Kyle's seeing that, and I can make decisions based on that to go get the jobs to fill it back up. Also helps, those peaks and valleys, right? It helps keep the thing level, makes Kyle's job easier, keeps people employed. So it was interesting to see something that, we work together every day, but we never really talked about. He brought it up today, and I thought that was pretty interesting that, Kyle's looking at that. So. What about
the RIVET team? Like, what's it like working with us?
Gotcha. I personally, we have a pretty intricate ERP system. It's always been our stopping block in our IT department. Likes to keep things out. that was probably the biggest success of getting the Rivet team integrated with our software and getting the data out of our ERP and just completely integrated. I think it's huge because it gives us the numbers exactly. We're not we write up a job on the sales side, within an hour it's in Rivet and everyone can see it. We can put that projection in there and adjust the overall manpower. Kyle's starting to see it. We're assigning the teams to it, so that was huge. These events too, I mean, you kind of see what's going on. You guys are wanting to develop the software, but you're also listening to what are the headaches now? What are the things that that need worked out and ironed out, and you're taking that input to help us create a solution. So it's twofold. You guys succeed, we succeed. So it kind of goes hand in hand, and it's awesome to have someone wanting our input to develop something. So honestly, that was a big factor in signing up.
Yeah.
To be honest, you could definitely tell. We've done a couple other implementation type things, and those softwares have gone completely different realm. But there's a lot of software out there in the construction industry, and you get signed up, and then you're like, okay, when are we going to start running with this thing? And it could be 8 months, and you're still spinning your wheels, and it's not our experience on the Rivet.
You had a good implementation.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and we threw probably as many hurdles as we could in the way with RITs. We're a company that's affiliated with other companies, so we have a little bit of a wall that we needed to put up between the two, so we weren't pulling in. We have our company and their company separate, so making sure we didn't bring in all the hours and exposing all that. So, but no, it went great.
Yeah, the implementation with the team was great. I'm not the most tech savvy person. Zach has to explain the way and the why of how things work a lot of times. So my biggest concern was, is it user friendly for myself and for our field staff? The process of getting it up and running, the Rosie chats. I thought at one point I was going to have my own direct line there, but the way it's communicated and the way the chats are presented, and it's real time help. You don't feel stuck or lost. It's not. It was very interactive. I've encouraged a lot of our guys and gals to use that as well, and I think just that live support like that's very responsive helped put at ease if we did have issues that we were going to get them resolved quickly and not be stuck on a problem. So.
Yeah, it's a real person. Usually Adam, sometimes it's Dana, sometimes it's Brittany.
Yeah, when we rolled it out, we had a couple of foremen that didn't get signed up with the right email. So getting that second factor, hey, is this the right email address? It wasn't there. And you jump on with Rosie, and I mean, it was within our training session of an hour that we had them up and active and working, which is crazy because we're changing our security system at work right now, and I've turned in my cancellation for the policy 3 weeks ago, and I still haven't even heard back yet. Like it's interesting. Those are the two opposite ends, but yeah, that's Rosie's. That's a huge help.
Yeah, I'd love to hear it. All right, this is the sales pitch question. It's like, what would you tell to other contractors that are evaluating or thinking about evaluating Rivet?
From the outside looking in, who's scheduling your manpower and how are they doing it, and what do they think 4 weeks from now? What does that look like? And if they're kind of spinning their wheels and they're not able to tell you, here's a range of where I'm going to be at. That was the first thing that we thought of when we saw the software is, Kyle is struggling, and Rivet has probably saved years of Kyle's life, to be honest, with how easy it is. Just getting the information out, that part was huge. And we've seen it too on, it's hard to put that dollar amount on, hey, how much have we saved? But it's very clear that you've got a lens now within all the projects, and you can see it. You can force those guys to, plan their work out a little bit further. And if you're, getting one person and it's not always, are we getting rid of a person? No, we're not getting rid of a person. That person's needed on another job that is short, and now we're just extending that job. So I think that there's a huge dollar value there, and we see it. It's very hard to quantify, but we're definitely seeing it.
Yeah, on my end, I would say the scalability of the product. We're talking to contractors in there today that are managing 100 people, and then there's a contractor managing 1,400 people, and it's the same software. So just the ability to keep everything in one central location and keep it updated. It's live. You can edit it whenever you need to. You can have multiple users. You can set up different permission sets. The flexibility of the software really impressed me, and I don't know much about software, but just seeing the different ways that different people can use it, and it's all in one. But just between myself and Zach, the different views and the different ways we use the exact same product, it really can work for anybody throughout the company, and just keep everything streamlined and a lot more efficient than what I thought was efficient before. So.
Yeah. Well, great. Thank you so much, guys, for joining me and our fireside chat, albeit without some bourbon. And again, thanks for being a part of the Champ Group.
Yeah, thanks for having
It means
us.
a lot to us.
Thank you.